Hello, SNA Assassinators. Like 20 seconds later, and I changed colors. This time orange because it is Rampage time. And yeah, after a very decent SmackDown, like a week before the Go Home show, and the week before their next pay per view, their second pay per view of August, of course, Bash in Berlin, and then we got a very pretty good AEW Rampage, even though they didn't did too much of a hype up for AEW double. I mean, not AEW All In like they would normally do on AEW Dynamite and Collision. That's because it's starting to be their C show. They downgraded ever since Collision has been on Saturdays. But let's start off with it was the it was the con was it the con was that the conglomeration? That's what their names are. Taking on Johnny TV, Brian Cage, and the Beast Mortos. This is where we got Johnny TV. Then that's where we got Kyle O'Reilly starting off with Johnny TV going for a guillotine, but this is where he gets flipped right over. This is where he's like, "Yeah, too easy, baby." And this is where he did not realize that Kyle O'Reilly's so fast. And he gave him an opportunity like for a second to get back up and try to go for a guillotine kind of maneuver, but this is where he turned into a headlock. This is where we got Johnny TV then try to counter and go for what's that, a headlock of his own. This is where then he tried to go. This is where we got him Irish whipping him right to the left side, and this is where he gets shoulder tackled. And I forgot to tell you, this was live, and I mean not live, I mean pre-taped from their time in Arlington, Texas last week on AEW Collision. But this is where we got Johnny TV then going for a shoulder tackle right onto Kyle O'Reilly, and this is where then we got Kyle then hit a knee strike right on the Johnny TV after he flexed his muscle, went to the top corner ropes. He hit some leg strikes after tagging in Tomohiro Ishii. He started hitting some chops, hitting the sugar honey iced tea out of him, which I think he got second place spot after hitting these very deadly chops that made Gunther very jealous. That to the point he got the second spot because we know who got the number one spot. This is where we got Brian Cage then try to come in and try to go for a double clothesline. They both duck Ishii and O'Reilly. This is where they go for a double clothesline on their own. Of their own. This is where we got Tomohiro Ishii then going for a suplex into a Falcon Arrow, but this is where we got Johnny TV flip right out of it. This is where he tags in Beast Mortos and try to knock over Tomohiro Ishii right off his feet, but he picked the wrong guy to do that because this guy is not an easy target, like when it comes to hitting it right into the bullseye. This is where we got Tomohiro Ishii try to go for shoulder tackle of his own. Like after he tried to attempt to go for him, this is where they go to their respective corners into the left side and right side, like diagonally. This is where they try to go for a splash. This is where they start going splash, splash. This is where it's like you go down, like no, you go down. This is where they start playing wrestling tennis of forearms, like and even going three straight times in a row. This is where then we got fans like, whoa, and when we got Ishii doing it, they did the same with Mortos. This is where they try to go for a splash of their, a running body tackle, like with them, like losing each other's balance, and then they fell flat on the ground. This is where we got Mark Briscoe gets tagged in by Ishii, while Mortos gets tagged in by Brian Cage. He tried to go over sunset flip, but this is where Brian Cage did not buy it, and this is where he picks him right up. He was like, you got to do something better than that. This is where then we got Mark Briscoe then start going for strikes of his own, but he end up with a roundhouse kick by the machine and gets kicked right to the face. Brian Cage to go for a running clothesline, and then this is where we got Brian Cage like, yeah, conglomerators no more. This is where then he try to Irish whip him to the right side. This is where the fans start chanting for Briscoe. And this is where he try to clobber him with a devastating tackle. This is where we got Mark Briscoe doing the little Karate Kid of his own. This is where he slapped. He hits a single-handed chop and a back fist chop. And earned himself the number one spot, like from Gunther's envy list. Is where then he goes for underarmed wrist lock. This is where he got tagged in by Kyle O'Reilly before this, and this is where he hits a big boot right to his face coming from the right side ropes. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly start going for swift kicks into left side of the of Brian Cage, and then he go for the left. This is where he try to boot him right to the face. This is where he needs him. This is where he go for a back fist, kick in the midsection. This is where he try to. This is where we got Brian Cage then hang on to him until can't go for a guillotine, but this is where it was a dud. Unfortunately, this is where he tried to go for a suplex. This is where, but it ends up he gets foot right out of it. This is where we got this is where Brian Cage can go for what's that a double Nelson slam right on the O'Reilly. And this is where then he tags in Johnny TV in the ring. This is where he slides in, trying to go for a pin. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly got the shoulders up at 2.1, I guess you could say. This is where we got Johnny TV, then go for a swift kick right to the face. Johnny TV then go for a right hand to the head. This is where then he picks up the former ROH, IWGP, and NXT Tag Team Champion right into the top corner rope. Hang on to him, but the referee are counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. You better stop, or you will get DQ. This is where he tags in the Beast Mortos. This is where ours from the top corner to the bottom. This is where he was like. That's where he was like. He picks him up, slingshot him, but he gets booted to the face. This is where we got Johnny TV. Then go up right up on the top corner ropes, right with what's his name, Beast Mortal still hanging on to him, like in a catapult position, like with his knees spiked into Kyle O'Reilly's back. Is where we got what's his name, Johnny TV going for a springboard moonsault. Then we got the Beast Mortals then go for a pin, but Kyle O'Reilly got the shoulders up. This is where then we got This is where then we got the Beast Mortos then go for a shoulder right into the back of the neck onto Kyle O'Reilly, like boom, 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 boom. And this is where then Beast Mortos was like, you better not say anything, referee, because he's not hanging on to the rope. This is where he's like grabbing onto his jaw. He's like, referee's like, but I can tell you something about that. Like, don't be trying to paralyze him. Like this is where then we got Beast Mortos tags in Brian Cage. This is where we got Brian Cage to put Kyle O'Reilly right into the bottom, I'll say left side, I believe, most likely was the case. This is where he starts, but anyways, this is where he starts bottom right side. That's what the side was. He hit some shoulder bumps right into the midsection. On the Kyle O'Reilly, knife fist chopped him, which earned him a number third place spot. This is where then he ragdolled Kyle O'Reilly right to the other side diagonally to Brian right to the upper left side. This is where Brian Cage was like, yeah, like it's all about the muscles. And then this is where then he then turned around, spotted Kyle O'Reilly, then tried to pick him up to go for and send him right to his corner. This is where he tags in, I believe, Johnny TV. They double teamed him until we got and this is where double team until Johnny TV started hitting his move, but Kyle O'Reilly keep kicking out after kicking out after kicking out. This is where he shoulder bumped him right in the midsection, bulldozing him right to the barricade. Then he flapjacked him over the barricade and then right into the audience. This is where then we got Ty Valkyrie and him to start making out in front of the camera, which we much not want to see. With all due respect and no disrespect to the couple, but I was like, do it in your own time when you're not wrestling in a match. This is where we got. That's where once Kyle O'Reilly got back in the ring, he tripped Johnny TV over. This looks similar to when he fought Russell Madness back in a decade ago in that movie, like where he gets hit with that double drop kick and he made him do that spinning corkscrew maneuver that he's famous of doing in professional wrestling. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly tagging in Tomohiro Ishii. This is where Johnny TV tags in Beast Mortos, I believe. This is where then they start going at it with shoulder tackles into each other. None of them at first couldn't get the job done of knocking the other over. This is where he then hits a right hand to the face onto Brian Cage after he goes right through Mortos, but he ends up hitting the forearm right to his face. This is where he hits a chop. Tomohiro Ishii then tried to try to beat Mark Briscoe, his teammate, like to get in the number one spot to the current world heavyweight champion that ain't General's list. But this is where he only got the second place. That's where then he still stay in second place. And this is where he gets this is where he brainbusters Mortos. This is where we got Brian Cage then going for that suplex fold driver, but this is where Tomohiro Ishii picks him right up and hits him with a suplex, sending him right into the bottom corner of the ring, or right into the apron, actually. This is where then he stared at Johnny TV because Johnny TV started talking smack on him. He was like, you really think you got the upper hand, you big giant boulder from Japan? And then this is where then and this is where Tomohiro Ishii's like, who you calling the boulder twig that has that twig that you're a twig that's shaped like a spinning top because you just cannot stop spinning? And this is where then he hit him with a big right elbow right into the head, clocking him right into his own corner in the right side. This is where we got Tomohiro Ishii then realized that he was still the legal man, and Brian Cage was as well. And this is where he was like, like I just really messed that up. And I don't think, he was the legal man. Maybe it was Mortos. No, I think Brian Cage was. Actually, he was. Yeah, he kneed him right in the midsection. Then he hit him with a European uppercut to follow that up along with a German suplex. This is where then, was the Beast Mortos? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the legal man because he ended up spearing him after he tried to right before he goes for the pin. This is where he pins him, but this is where he only got a 2-point.
I want another one.
Another what?
Another card.
Okay, this is where then we got the pin, but it's where it ends up like in a near fall. And this is where we got what's that? Beast Mortos and Brian Cage try to go for a suplex on the Ishii, but this is where Johnny TV goes right up on top rope. This is where Tomohiro Ishii flip right out of it. This is where he dodges both sides of Brian Cage and Beast Mortos' clothesline, and they hit their clothesline right into each other. But before I continue, excuse me for a moment. But yeah, I'm gonna help you out. You still want that? Still want Kaji? Just let Uncle SNA know. Okay. Anyways, never mind. False alarm. But anyways, we got
another card.
This is where we got Johnny TV to go for a double axe handle. This is where he dodges out of the way. This is where once he got him right where he wanted him, he German suplexes him. But excuse me for a moment, my nephew, wants something, but get it right now.
Amar,
Bird.
go.
What do you want right now?
Oh, he's on the wings. Still open. Go. Well, that was it. Well. Still one. No.
Okay, I'll put on a new Kaji for you. Okay, Assassinator. Excuse me, Birdie Bird.
No, I need to play.
Here you go. Go on the side.
No, I can't.
This is where we got
Go. What?
This is where then we got the hot tag from Mark Briscoe when every man was down. This is where Mark Briscoe just started hitting his comeback move. This is where not just yet. Uncle Super Ninja still got this. Just play on the side. This is where then we got Mark Briscoe. No, don't do that. No. You don't want to do that. You don't have nothing to watch. Stop. Trey you. You need to stop. But anyways, assassinators, this is where we got Johnny TV. Then came in after Mark Briscoe gets what's that like rack slammed right into in the middle of the ring. This is where he got saved by Tomohiro Ishii. This is where we got Johnny TV at the springboard drop kick. This is where then we got Mark Briscoe ducks out of the way, hits a middle missile drop kick, sending TV right into the left side into the in the arena. This is where then he grabbed onto that steel chair. Referee's like, no, not into this contest. It's not a no DQ contest. It's disqualification. And this is where then Mark Briscoe's like, no, you big dummy. Like, I'm using this as a stepping stool. You should know that. Like, I'm not no dishonest heel that needs that weapon to win, like behind your back. And then this is where he tried to go for it, use it as a stepping stool to get the cannonball kind of dive right onto I believe Johnny TV, was it? But luckily he was saved by his wife Taya. This was like, nope, like not if I'm around. Brian Cage then came in, picks up Mark Briscoe, trying to go for his driver onto him. But here's where Mark Briscoe flipped right out of it. He pushes him right into Kyle O'Reilly. He went to knee strike while Tomohiro Ishii hit a back close on, knock over the machine. This is where we got Johnny TV then came back on the in the ring. He hits like a diving somersault right onto everybody, like O'Reilly and Ishii, along with Mark Briscoe going up using the step stool. He got a guaranteed of a diving maneuver onto Johnny TV, but it was the second attempt with everybody down. And I was surprised that Taya Valkyrie tried not to do this again. But this time somehow Mark Briscoe's going to manage to pull off something. But I guess like she didn't want to do something that's redundant, and maybe she didn't. Maybe that's not in her category. That's what she was thinking about. And then she had, and besides, she had something better in mind, which we saw Johnny TV then got thrown right back in the ring with Mark Bowden going right up in the bottom left corner. This is where he was like, "You stay in your lane, you little Purdy." And then this is where then Johnny TV's like, "Who you call Purdy? You perv." And then this is where then he tried to go for a suplex. I was like, man, like what is wrong with these couple? Like when somebody like out of the what they're called, the conglomeration, the conglomeration, like I give a comment to Ty Valkyrie, they be known as a perv to them, like let me know in the comments below if you understand exactly what I mean. We nudge. But this is where we got Mark Briscoe hits a headbutt right onto Johnny TV. This is where then we got Briscoe then hits a middle drop kick onto Brian Cage. And this is where we got Tomohiro Ishii tags in O'Reilly. They double Irish. And this is where we got Tomohiro to go to the top corner while Kyle go to the bottom. Leg sweep TV's legs while Tomohiro gets him from the top with a huge clothesline that's devastating. This is where we finally saw Tomohiro Ishii knock Beast Mortals right down to the ground, but this time in the ringside area in the left side. He clobbers him with a forearm. This is where we got Kyle O'Reilly hits a suplex like a Falcon Arrow kind of combo. This is where he hit him with the arm bar. This is where he made Johnny TV tap out. Winner of your match, Kyle O'Reilly, Tomohiro Ishii, and the ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe. The 3/4 or 3/5 of the conglomeration, if you consider Willow Nightingale as a member. But we're going to see that in the near future, maybe after AEW All In. But let's move on to the next slide. This is where we got next up. We got Roderick Strong in action next after the conglomeration was in that match. This is where we got Roderick Strong taking on a guy that we never saw in months. I'll say, if you could say that, like, if not weeks, like, and that is Fuego del Sol. And I was like, where the hell has he been? Like, And I was like, I think he did suffer an injury, so that's understandable. But like, I thought I would never hear that name anytime soon in AEW. But amazingly, they brought him in on tonight's contest. Against the former AEW International Champion. Israel Roderick Strong immediately did not waste no time. He hit some backbreaker maneuvers and some suplex and etc. Like, you can name all the maneuvers. Like it was kind of like a squash match, but at the same time, like we had. But at the same time, Fuego del Sol brought in a few offenses until he was out for good. But one of the members of the congregations did not leave and went back to their locker room. And that man is the guy that used to have been friends with Roderick Strong, in kayfabe at least, and used to team with him. And also was feuding him for the last few months ever since he'd been back from his injury. And that is, him spectating for Roderick Strong's match. This is where then we got Roderick Strong. Then they grab onto Fuego del Sol, like on his back, and start hitting this gory lock, like right into in the middle of the ring. This is where we got he try to get a 1 and he try to get a 2, but this is where Roderick Strong kicks outside. He goes for a knee strike. This is where then we got Roderick Strong then grab onto Fuego del Sol's head. This is where it's a forearm right to the head. This is where then we got Roderick Strong then going for running an attack over the upper right side. But anyway, he keep kicking him right to the face until the third time he tried to grab onto his leg, but he ends up Fuego del Sol and try to grab onto his other leg, and then they rolled it over underneath his left leg and pushes him right into the face, sending him right to the middle of the ring. Fuego del Sol to try to go for that flying head scissors and into a surprise roll up, which I never saw any luchadors do in all of professional wrestling, let alone any high flying wrestlers in general ever doing that maneuver. Like, that's something new, something interesting, something that's gonna be memorable. Even if you haven't seen him did this move ever again, this is where then we got him dealing for a super kick right in the midsection, go for a roundhouse kick. This is where then he goes right to the left side, springboards right there to a moonsault, and this is where he brought down the former international champion, and he followed that up with a super kick. This is where then he goes up right on the top rope and the lower right side. This is where it didn't look like he was about to go for a dive, but it end up getting the enziguri kicked. But this is where we got Roderick Strong, then going up right up on the top rope. This is where it goes for a German suplex. This is where, or a half Nelson suplex, I believe was. But I think he turned into a half Nelson's back slam right onto the top turnbuckle. That's where then he ended up hitting the end of Heartache after this, and he gets the 1, 2, 3 winner of this match. Roderick Strong, I guess I'll give him a big congratulations. Like this and the Mina Shirakawa versus Robbie Renegade matches, it seemed like squash matches, but at the same time, it kind of seemed like it. Like, well, Roderick Strong and Mina Shirakawa gonna win like on paper, but when it comes to the match, it seems like if it's just a normal mid card match, which it kind of is, like it could have been, like it's like if this could be a throwaway match that could mean something in the future. Which it's the only thing. The only thing that was shocking of the night was, or something that was like a big surprise was, I would say, Fuego del Sol, which we haven't seen in months, and I'm glad that he's back, and I'm very happy for the AEW. But